2018 in review. 2018 was a very interesting year for me personally. Challenges, but also, interesting and of course, challenges within our own, local politics, provincial politics, and now to detained individuals in China, with a federal election here in Canada around the corner. And, many challenges that we as Canadians, though, are still facing in the financial industry. So much of what I'm focusing on and following is just the trends of bankruptcy and of course, real estate values. And bankruptcies, here's what I can tell you. Bankruptcies are rising, mostly amongst our senior population, which isn't a surprise. Real estate seems to be, slowing down somewhat. There are some warnings out there which suggest further decline in real estate. We'll have to obviously wait and see what happens. But, it is Christmas time, and so let me give you my wish list of what I think might be the best thing for all things concerned, and that is simply if real estate were to just kind of level or plateau, some way, at least until our income levels can once again catch up. And by the way, possibly higher rates might be able to provide support for that. We'll have to wait and see. But a leveling of real estate values would require change, though, by those who might be riding the wave of higher real estate to sustain their livelihood and who have used leverage then as a means to overinflate their lifestyle. And now, obviously, to their potential own detriment. But, I think it's really important for them to understand that. And if they are forced to look at it, and if they don't soon change, eventually, they're going to find themselves in a situation where they too will have to declare bankruptcy. And here's the way I see it. So if we keep building more and more homes, all of which is great economically, but if this is all done with fiat currency, consumer leverage, and more importantly, within a society's belief that real estate always goes up in value, you know what? I'll show you a former king's castle that was sold for $1 that demonstrates it doesn't always work that way. So perhaps our approach to building our economy may now be actually putting this beyond the reach of many within our communities, simply because our income levels can't keep up. And now we have a social and financial problem. Ultimately, I think the issue of a lot of this still lies in whether or not this asset is and that is real estate, being leveraged or not. And if it is, more importantly, why is it being leveraged? For consumption purposes or for investment purposes? Because there's a difference. If individuals are simply avoiding bankruptcy because of higher real estate values, well, then we're only fooling ourselves into believing this is a sustainable investment. Working individuals who own real estate must be encouraged to be able to find solutions where they no longer rely on credit for their day-to-day living. They need to understand how this is consuming, inefficient, and more risky for them, but also for Canadian financial institutions as well, and therefore all of us. And why I believe if we move towards recommending leverage solutions which are outside of higher real estate values in the future, but before these can be integrated or recommended, the consumer retail investor needs to decide to get their credit repayments in order. Because a lot of credit secured against real estate in the hands of those who can't manage it is a risk to our overall society. I believe potentially higher interest rates, a risk of lower real estate values, and higher equity requirements is a real situation consumer retail investors are going to need to prepare for today. And why, of course, I really believe we need another way to look at this, and why I'm educating individuals on leverage and the real risk of having it in society's financial plans. And so here it is, as best as I can describe it. Leveraging to invest can be used to help grow us economically and as consumer retail investors, while leveraging to consume may actually be what is causing us all to struggle in some form or another. Now, I've had the privilege of meeting and getting to know many new people this past year, both in the GTA, but also here in Brantford. And, if you're one of them and you're listening to this, thank you for taking the time to listen to this blog podcast. I really enjoy putting these together. And Knowing some people actually listen to these is always that's the reward of doing it. But please, feel free to share this message. I also look forward to speaking and doing more of this in the coming year. So wishing you all the best of the season. May 2019 be a year where we continue to see growth in good financial behavior and positive change. All the best, Will Prinzen, founder, Sciuridae.